Welcome to the first episode of Books in Your Face! This is a brand new video podcast by Mrs. Del Piano and Miss Hummel.
We are creating this podcast to share with students some of the amazing young adult books that go overlooked. Everyone knows about The Hunger Games and Divergent because they were made into movies. We're going to share some equally exciting and interesting books that should be made into movies.
Our theme for this podcast is Fall Reads.
This is Mrs. Del Piano, and I'm going to talk to you about Towers Falling by Jewel Parker Rhodes. With it being the 15th anniversary of 9/11 this year, there have been many books published for middle grade and young adult that are themed around 9/11. And why I picked this specific book was that it takes place 15 years after, which is now in 2016. So I thought that was an interesting perspective to take instead of just the people that experienced it, where many of the students can relate to the characters in the novel who are trying to learn about it and understand it and really understand why the people in their lives were so affected by this event. So in the novel, the main character, Deja, is going to a school in New York where they actually saw the event happen. So many of the teachers were there. And also, you come to find out later, her and her friends, all their families were affected by the tragedy. So it really is interesting to see her learn about September 11th and why it was such a traumatic event for people. It really helps her understand her family even more. It's hard for her to really understand, why her dad can't keep a job and certain things about her family dynamic. I don't want to give any of it away, so I'll stop there. But it is interesting to see how it still does affect people today, 15 years after the fact, and why people, kids specifically, should still care and learn about what happened on that day.
This is Miss Hummel, and I'm sharing Etiquette and Espionage, the first book in a fantastic 4-part series called Finishing School by Gail Carriger. Etiquette and Espionage is set in Victorian England, where there are lords and ladies, big dresses and top hats, and the manners you use when having tea matter a great deal. But unlike ordinary Victorian England, werewolves and vampires live among the people. Our protagonist is 14-year-old Sophronia, the younger daughter in a respectable family who can't seem to practice these good manners and is constantly getting into trouble. So her mother decides to send her to Mademoiselle Geraldine's finishing school to learn how to act like a proper lady. But she quickly discovers that this is no ordinary finishing school academy, but actually a school for teaching young ladies to be spies. And Sophronia discovers she is uniquely suited to this type of work. While the ladies have classes in etiquette and genteel dress, they are simultaneously being taught how to fight off a werewolf with a petticoat, hide a weapon in their skirts, and fell an enemy with a deadly manipulation of a fan or sewing scissors. In this world, most of the work that's done by servants is actually done by machines called mechanicals. Sophronia takes a dog-like one named Bumbersnoot as her pet. Considering the advanced technology in this novel, it isn't so surprising that Mademoiselle Geraldine's school is actually housed in a constantly flying blimp so that potential enemies of the school cannot get to it easily. Not that stops motivated flyaway men or evil geniuses from Bunsen's Polytechnic School from trying to sneak aboard to steal secrets and protected devices, which is exactly what happens in Book 1, putting Sophronia and her friends' new spy skills to the test. In this story, there is no lack of excitement. There will be fellow spies and engine room cities to befriend, rival students to contend with, a vampire professor and werewolf captain to learn tricks of the espionage game from, and England to save. Don't wait another second. Come to the Media Center right now so you can get started with this amazing series right away.